John, how was today? That's not the question.
I know.
Hope you're well. Can you tell us, obviously you kept your cards pretty close to the vest, but how long ago did you sort of settle on these as the lines? Like what was that process like to get to this practice for you?
There was a lot to it, actually. This one we just didn't, pull out of a hat at a neighborhood pub and say, this is what we're going with. There was a lot of communication with the players. Uh, First of all, you have to wait till this team gets picked. And so, you've got these things in your mind, but as coaches, you feel out, we're with these players all the time. We're competing against them, with them, and the type of players they have success with. And then you think you've got something picked, and then you go talk to the players and what they feel they need. And it's not where a player says, well, I want to play with Mitch Marner or I want to play with Mark Stone. It's, I feel comfortable with this type of player. And it was a great experience. And so, like I said, there was a lot of communication with the players and how we felt things could go and who would benefit who and what would put the players in the best position to succeed. And this is what we came upon.
Second row on the right.
Just to follow up on that, if I can, just with Marner, maybe take us through the thought process and the complementing of player to player, why you like that.
Well, you got speed, you got brains, and you got guys that could shoot it in the net. And you hand me a line like that, I'll take my chances. And the one thing is, I remember back in the World Cup in 2016. I may be mistaken, but I bet you we had 2.5 weeks or 3-week training camp. We were playing exhibition games in all sorts of different cities. And I remember Austin Matthews, when we wrote it up, was our 13th forward. By the time the tournament was going, he was on our top line. And so you just don't know. Now, he was a different situation because he was playing in Europe at the time, but it's, this one we have to jump right in. So we did our homework and, like I said, tried to do best we could to see who could fit with who. And those 3 guys specifically for us was a logical fit.
The left side, front row. John, what tone does it set for your group? What tone does it set for the tournament when Sidney Crosby does absolutely everything he can to be here and to be part of it?
Did you read Steve Simmons' article on him? I guess I read this article he's come out with. I thought it was outstanding. And that pretty much personifies Sidney Crosby. And, part of in that article, it said, it's just Sid being Sid. And really there's something to that. And I never, I haven't been around him in my career other than the fact of competing against him, the way he is and interacts, and the guy that carries so much weight, and he's like a polarizing figure, but there's so much humility that comes through, that just bleeds through him. And that's why people follow him. And you talk about wanting to play for your country. This kid is, it's remarkable the passion he has for it. And it's probably a reason why he's got a whole lot of wins and not a whole lot of losses when he plays in these events.
Row on the right.
Just quickly to clarify on Sidney, is he good to go for the first game as well, or is it still a day-to-day to see how he feels?
Yeah, we're taking this one day by day. I think with Sid, first of all, we would not have put him in a position where he was going to get hurt or re-aggravate his injury. We're not going to put him in a position that's going to put Team Canada in jeopardy or the Pittsburgh Penguins. Check all those boxes off. Now it's Sidney Crosby's playing in the tournament. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, exactly when, and it could be Wednesday night. But he's definitely playing.
Just to follow up, the history of best-on-best hockey, go back to the 87 Canada Cup when Mike Keenan loaded up Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky and over the boards every second shift and just play the crap out of them. You don't see that a lot in the modern game, but I'm just wondering whether the nuclear option is there in your back pocket if you feel you need it at some point, whether it's McKinnon and McDavid, etc.
Well, I think, I've been on record saying the 87 Canada Cup was arguably the greatest hockey 3-game segment you'd ever seen. But I think today's players are different than those players back then. And, we don't have Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux, but we have Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid and go down the list. But that gap between, say, the 12th forward in 87 and the first forward, I think is a lot farther than the gap between the 12th forward in today's teams and the first forward. And so there's just weapons all over the ice. And it was, it's super cool being on the ice, like being ice level, getting to watch what's going on here. But there's just no holes. And not saying these other teams in the past had holes, but I think you can put a lot of guys together and create that chemistry. But we'll have to see.
Go second row on the right, Eric.
John, back here. Sorry. Just talk about the embarrassment of riches on the ice, on the bench, colleagues that you respect, obviously. How have you divided the labor, and what's it like getting together as a group over the last number of months, weeks, discussing this stuff and now getting to live it?
Well, a big part of it is synergy, right? You got to be able to put in a situation to work closely with these people. And to me, that's like the best of the best. I think Canada in particular, and I'm extremely thankful to be in the position I'm in, but there could be 15 coaches in this league that are Canadians that could be sitting right here, and just outstanding minds. It's been a ton of fun to be around these guys. I'm a big believer in, surround yourself with a lot of guys smarter than you. And that's what's going on in that room. And, for me, I'm not one, like if you watch practice today, I hand portions of practice off. And, for guys to express themselves and do the coaching and teaching that needs to be done. And I think all these coaches have deserved it. And they've earned it. And it's been a blast being around. And it's great to kind of pick into other minds and, coach it. God, I've never seen that drill. This is sick. This is awesome. And then you're doing the same to them. And so everybody's growing, and it's, that sport where everybody kind of so like tries to protect their information and stuff like that. When it comes to this, it's like an open book. And I think that's why, it's been such a great experience so far, because, everybody just wants to do it for their country. Take a couple more. Oh, like, right. I remember getting into the basic principles of it all. The Pete's running our PK, and Butchie's running our power play, and Talk's got a lot of our other special situations, face-offs, all those kind of things. I'm pretty much doing, our whole 5-on-5 system and stuff like that. But it's all a group effort. But different people are in front of the chalkboard. That's about it.
Stay on the right side, front row.
John, right here.
I'm sorry.
Would you care to share your starting goalie for Wednesday evening with us?
I'll share that with you tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I got to tell them first.
Maybe just in general, what's your thinking on the goaltending? Is it a rotation? Is it like what's it look like to you, or how do you imagine it playing out?
Where have you been, by the way? I haven't seen it for a while. You're looking good.
And well, thank you. It's kind of you to say that.
I think this is too short a tournament to make that call. It's not like World Championships where there's a whole bunch of prelim games and you can put guys in and out. I think for everybody, that includes forwards, defensemen, everybody. I mean, this is it. You can't, you lose your first game. Now what? And so everybody's here to perform, and everybody's going to try and do their best. And as a coaching staff, we don't feel it's getting done, then we'll make a change. But it's not like anybody can't do it. Somebody's got to be put in the net first. But like I said, it's I don't see it being a rotation.
Just have you decided, or is that still something you and the coaching staff are working through? Who you want Wednesday night?
Oh, can you see deep into my soul who it is? When I look, they'll know tonight, and then everybody will know after that.
Last question, Coop, far side on the left. If we're sticking with the goal, like how do you have three great goaltenders supposedly here? So how do you make the call with who goes first, and with so limited amount of practice time before your first game? What's the key to this all coming together?
That's a really good question. That's deep too, and to think about this answer. I think when we were picking this team, and this includes the goaltenders as well, we picked what we felt was the best team. And every team will at some point be second guessed. Well, maybe this guy should have been on and this guy shouldn't have been, and whatever. There was a ton of work that went into this. And it wasn't just from the coaching staff. It was from Sweens to all the assistant general managers. It was so darn impressive to just see the information gathered and the eyes that were watching. And a lot of work went into this. But to me, and being in these situations, it's not always the best players that win, it's the best team that wins. And I think the team that gels the quickest and kind of plays for each other, especially in such a short tournament, will have the advantage. And I'm super, super confident that's at least what we have. If any indication of being around the guys last night is it, we're in a good spot. Well, a lot's gone into that as well. And then in the end, it comes, it's going to come down to the decision and it'll be made. Thanks for your time, Coach.